Blake Shelton, big winner
He had a big night last night. Very touching, by the way.
Very
His
touching.
speech, yeah.
Brought a little tear almost to my eye.
Now let's find out if Matt actually will make you cry right now. Because Rotten Tomatoes,
I don't think so.
Rotten Tomatoes can make you cry if you got a movie out there. It can really make you cry.
We have been known to do that.
All right, you got a few movies.
A
do
few
we got?
movies, and mostly pretty good. I have to say, I liked everything that opened up this week. The critics, one of them they're not so wild about, but the first one, the big one, Flight.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Denzel, he plays a pilot. The best way I can describe this story is, you remember Sully Sullenberger, who did that miraculous
of
landing.
course.
Imagine if he'd been drinking when that happened. Imagine successful landing, but find out that he'd been drunk.
We just saw his eye there. He was drinking,
that's kind of what happens in this movie. Miraculous landing of this plane that seems doomed, and then they find out that Denzel's character had been drinking before the flight, drinking on the flight, drinking after the flight,
Drinking on the flight.
drinking during the flight. So it becomes this story as to whether or not he's going to be able to keep it together enough to make it through the FAA investigation. It's a really amazing portrayal.
Is he denying? Yes. You said amazing.
Yes.
But it is. Is he denying that he was drinking?
No, he's denying to the FAA, but not to his buddies who know him.
Right.
But it's a great portrayal. The story gets a little melodramatic and not necessarily in a good way, but I think that his performance really transcends. And I think that you're hearing buzz already about Oscar nominations. I think that he's got a good shot at it.
It's interesting because he is a hero, but then there's this.
But he's a flawed,
ugly
tragic
part.
hero,
Yes,
and it really
which
becomes a
makes for
story
good
about whether or
film.
not he's going to.
No. Now I don't want you to give too much away, but did he cause what happened?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, and they at one point you hear Don Cheadle's character, who does a great supporting performance, say, they sent 10 guys through a simulator and none of them could land the plane.
Oh, so he was the Sullenberger.
So he was, he really was.
All right, so
the critics like it 78%.
So you're saying he didn't Wreck-It Ralph?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Wreck-It Ralph, though, is a really fun movie. This
All
is
right.
an animated film from Disney, and it's about a video game character voiced by John C. Reilly, who is tired of being a villain and wants to be a hero for once, so he starts jumping into other games in the arcade. So you get this crazy mashup of this almost Donkey Kong-like character.
They look like a Mario brother.
Yeah, exactly. He's from this old 8-bit game. There's a lot of love for video games in this.
Yeah.
And I think as a video game fan, there's a lot to like because there's references and characters from other games early on in the movie. Now, if you're not a big fan of games, if you're not a gamer, you're still going to like this because they stop hitting you with the references and get down to the basics of the story, which is really good. It's really moving. I find that characters do stuff that when they do the wrong thing sometimes and you get really disappointed in them, which to me is a measure of you're really feeling for these characters.
And
Cool
so
to
you
see all
care.
these characters.
Yeah, you absolutely
You suspend that disbelief. Okay.
Yeah, you really care. And the critics like it. Certified fresh.
All right,
85% of the rating.
Now, the next movie, just because it's a genre movie, I thought it was going to take a beating. I caution you. RZA was here talking about the movie. Eli Roth was here talking about the movie. We like both of them.
We'd like them to come
What
back.
do you have to say?
I personally loved this movie.
Okay.
Now, I will say it's got
Stop there.
problems. It's got a few problems. The critics are kind of split. It's about 56%. This is a kung fu movie from the RZA, head of the Wu-Tang Clan. For those that know the Wu-Tang Clan,
hip-hop.
they've got a lot. There's a long history of them and kung fu movies.
Right.
Wu-Tang comes from the title of a kung fu movie.
That's right.
Imagine if you gave RZA enough of a budget to make a modern Shaw Brothers film. That's exactly
Shaw
what you get.
Brothers out of Hong Kong.
Out of Hong Kong.
And
That's
great
exactly what
cast.
you get here, warts and all.
Lucy Liu.
So Lucy Liu, Russell Crowe,
Russell
who
Crowe.
looks like he's having the time of his life in this movie.
That's what
I think
they
he
were
was.
telling us. In the
He's got
beginning,
this
he
twinkle in his
was
eye.
saying, how am I going to do this stunt? Let me do it over and over again.
Yeah, he's got this twinkle in his eye. You can tell he's having a ball. More fun than he's had in movies in what seems like years. Now, the story gets a little muddled because, I don't know if they talked to you about this, RZA's original cut of this movie was 4 hours long.
No.
And Eli Roth talked him down to 90 minutes.
Okay.
And so at one point, RZA got so frustrated in editing, he left the edit bay for 2 weeks.
So why didn't they do like a Kill Bill 1 and 2 out of this?
I think that we may get that with the DVD. I think we may get a 4-hour cut. I think that as a first-time director, nobody was going to let RZA release a 2-part kung fu movie.
So is it safe to say that people who think they will like this will
Are gonna like it,
and people
yes.
who think they won't aren't going to like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I will say, Shaka talked to me about whether or not it's at all safe for teenagers.
Oh, Tech Ninja, yeah, he's
Absolutely
concerned about
not.
that. Yes.
Absolutely not. This
Not
is a
for
hard R. There is a lot of sexual content. Do not take
So
your
in other words,
teenagers.
this is a movie the teenagers want to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
But don't take them yourself because you'll be very
Embarrassed.
uncomfortable.
All right. Matt, Rotten Tomatoes Radio Thursdays at 3 on Sirius and also Tuesday, right?
And also Tuesdays.
Yeah, awesome. By the 15th week, we'll have it in there. Okay.
This is a good report today. You're a very happy camper with
Yes,
your
good movies.
this weekend.
All right, coming up, Nancy Travis is going to be with us. What huge franchise did she star in, Matt? Nancy Travis.
She was
So,
in So I Married an Axe Murderer
No, franchise.
franchise.
3 Men.
And
Three Men and a Baby.
Yeah, okay, all right.
and then 3 Men and
course,
a Little Lady.
Last Man Standing, she's going to be with us. Clint Eastwood talking about politics and what it is like being a conservative in Hollywood. We have that and a lot more coming up. It's Good Day LA. We'll be right back.
Can I?
Yeah, go
Danny?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go.